All right, welcome everybody. Today we're going to be talking about what you need to know as a real estate agent regarding insurance, homeowners insurance. As you may know, you're not going to get a loan without it. And even if you don't need a loan, you still want to have insurance. And there are a lot of issues that come up that are pretty specific to real estate transactions. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. And by we, I mean Devlin, who's with DIANE, DIAZ, Hopkins Insurance. And she's going to talk a little bit about how she got roped into this and the company, and then explain what you need to know.
Yes, hi, I'm Devlin Bellador. I work with DIANE, DIAZ, Hopkins Insurance, and we are a broker, so we're agents. I met Michael in Morgan Hill at the Realtors meeting, so he kind of explained to me how you guys work, and he asked me to come and speak and just kind of tell you a little bit about us as an agency and what's going on today, what you would need to know as realtors when it comes to insurance. It's not as easy as you would think. There's a lot that goes into it. So I think we have 12 people on here, so we'll go ahead and get started. Michael, is there anything you want to add before I start?
Nope, go ahead. Sorry, I mispronounced your first name.
Oh, no, it's okay. It's very common. Okay, so we are DIANE, DIAZ, Hopkins Insurance. DIANE is the agency owner, so our agency has over 35 years of experience. We're based in Hollister and Morgan Hill, but we service all of California. DIANE got her license in 1987, working for another company as just a regular agent. So it definitely inspired her to open up her own office, which she did in 1995. We are referral based, so we don't, sell information and we don't gain information from anywhere, which is something that a lot of companies do. So we give our clients the coverage that they need and provide the customer service that we would want ourselves. Like I said, we don't go looking and bugging people. We're just here to help if they need us. So some of the benefits of using brokers such as us is we work with so many different companies. We have Progressive Home, Safeco, Encompass. We recently just became appointed by Burns and Wilcox, which is for your high fire rating areas, which is a big problem right now. We also have the California Fair Plan as our last resort, Pacific Specialty, Arrowhead, and Aegis. Those are just some of the companies. There are a few more, but those are the big ones. So some of the biggest insurance related obstacles that we found within the last year, I would say, is those old homes finding coverage. If the roof hasn't been redone in 20 years, it's hard to find an insurance company that's going to take you, especially at a decent rate. Even the fire score, that's a big one. When we're doing an application, we definitely need all the information. Some people might think that's a lot, but if we don't have all the information, we don't have the tools that we need to get you the best rate and see where we can place you. And that's a big thing. One thing that people don't realize is your dog breeds make a difference. There's companies that don't take certain dog breeds, such as terriers, huskies, chihuahuas, pit bulls, boxers, and there's actually a whole list. So sometimes they will insure you, but you don't have, liability for your animal as far as if someone were to bite, your dog, or your dog were to bite someone. There's just no coverage there. So that's hard right now. Besides that, what's going on today, especially with fire, is due to the increased amount of fire in those brush areas. The past few years, they've gone from every now and then to very often. So insurance companies aren't really willing to take the risk, especially if it's in that high fire score area. And it's not the insurance companies who determine that score, it's actually a third party. So it has nothing to do with the insurance companies, but it directly affects us. And this is not for new home buyers only. This is affecting people who have had Progressive for 20 years. They're being dropped when it comes to their renewals because of the risk. So because the rating has gone up, the risk has gone up, and the insurance companies are canceling their policy at the time of renewal. So that's a big problem. Well, where do they go now and what do they do? We have a lot of companies that will still take them. Sometimes you have to do a DIC policy, which is a difference in conditions policy, and that's in correspondence with the California FAIR Plan. So we give you a homeowner's policy that's going to cover everything but fire, and then the California FAIR Plan is going to cover fire. So no matter what happens, you're fully insured. We also have Safeco, Encompass, Pacific Specialty, and ASI. They'll take some people depending on the ratings, but Burns and Wilcox is, like I said, we're newly appointed, so we're kind of going there for those really high fire ratings. The premiums are more expensive. So sometimes if you're looking at a property and you're not sure if it's in one of those areas, you can call us and we can run that address and tell you if it is or not, because insurance can get really pricey. You don't want to be paying the same amount of insurance and the same mortgage just because of those fire areas. So it's something to think about being a new home buyer. So I would encourage your clients to give us a call and let us know where they're looking and to see if they're in those areas, and we can do even rough quotes if they haven't, put in an offer or anything hasn't been in the works. We can at least guide them and let them know what it's going to look like for them in the future. You definitely don't want to get into something and then realize, well, you can't get the insurance that you need, or you can comfortably afford to still be a new home buyer and live your life. So that's what we're here for. Liability coverage is really important no matter what. So a lot of homeowners have the minimum, which is $100,000. We highly encourage you to up that anywhere between $300,000 to $500,000, which you think might be a lot, but it's not. So your homeowner's policy, this is the part, and it offers you protection within the policy if you're responsible for injuring another person or damaging their property. Unfortunately, this excludes anything that is caused, so on purpose. So if it's not an accident, it is not covered. But the liability claims are non-deductible claims, so you don't have to pay your deductible when your friend comes over and falls down the stairs, he breaks his leg. I recently was at an Easter party, and my uncle tore his ACL at my cousin's house, and his surgery was $100,000, which, your $100,000 minimum liability will cover that. But I don't think a lot of people take into consideration, yeah, you have $100,000 surgery, but then this person is suing you for loss of wage, time out of work. They're suing you for the physical therapy that they're now going to have to pay for. Even though they have health insurance, you never know what their coverage is. It's just, something to fall back on just in case. Sometimes you have parties and a friend brings a friend. You don't know this friend, so you don't know how they are. If something were to happen, it's just a protection for you as a homeowner, because as you know, anytime you are sued for something, they can go after your home. And being a new home buyer, that would be worst case scenario. But things can get really tricky. So we're here to kind of educate you on that before we write a policy and we determine those limits of what you need. So everyone's different, but we highly encourage those high limits. So some of the things that we need from you to fully quote your clients and make sure that we are giving them the best service possible is everything listed on the screen. I'll go over that, but why we need this is the insurance companies ask us all these questions. So it's not just for us personally. If we don't have these, there's a thing that will not let us proceed with the quotes. So it kind of gives us a pop-up message, and then we're having to call you over and over asking these questions. So it's best to just we have a questionnaire. It's best to have the questionnaire fully filled out once you put in an offer or thinking about putting in an offer, to get the best rate and just make sure that we have everything correct. We want the appraisal because it has all the information we have. We don't want to write a policy and then the inspection happen and your premiums going up because something wasn't disclosed, whether it be on the client's end or our end. They ask for prior addresses, the year built, marital status. We ask that because they do offer discounts. They also offer discounts if you bundle, of course, which is very popular. They ask for the occupations as well as your mortgagee, because a lot of people are mortgage you build. So the mortgage will pay that insurance premium for the year, especially when you're a new home buyer. Even refinances, we deal with a lot of those. And that's something that we deal with on our end. You kind of give them our information and then they can call us and we'll just call you and ask for permission, or your clients, I'm sorry, ask them for permission to, change any of the mortgage information. We're here Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. So you can always contact us, and we're really one-on-one with our clients and your clients because we want to be an extension of you. We want them to know that not only are you here for them, but we are too, not just to write their policy and send them off to the company. We're here to deal with the little things and answer any questions that they have. So I don't know if you want to screenshot it, but these are the things that we would need to complete a full insurance quote. So like I said, my name's Devlin. I am a newer agent. Diane has been here for 35 years doing insurance, and Gloria's been doing insurance for about 21 years. So they have a lot of experience and they're the best teachers I could ever ask for. We have 2 offices, like I said, one's in Morgan Hill and one's in San Benito County. We service everywhere though. So from Southern California, all the way up to San Francisco, it doesn't matter where you are, as long as you're in California, we're able to help you out and get you the quote that you need. Does anybody have any questions? Let's see.
So is there a difference between a home warranty company and a home insurance company?
Say that one more time.
Home warranty versus home insurance.
Yes, there is. So the home insurance is going to protect, perils like fire and water damage. Your home insurance follows you everywhere. As home warranty is directly on the home. So it's going to cover things that break as far as contracting goes. So if you have something, if the contractor comes in and doesn't use the correct things, your home warranty is kind of going to cover that. Whereas home insurance is to protect you from a flood or a fire. The liability portion actually follows you. If you were to go and rent a hall for a wedding and somebody's injured there, that liability coverage is going to follow you there too. So you're covered. I have a lot more questions.
Let me throw something into it. So a home warranty, I get asked this question, is a home warranty and home insurance the same thing? I mean, they both have the word home in it, but home warranties are things that take effect usually after escrow is closed to protect you, to lower the fee in getting a dishwasher that breaks fixed, things like that. And we're going to have people that's going to explain that, not the same thing as home insurance.
Yeah, so that's for your appliances, like your dishwasher and stuff like that is the warranty.
So what kind of problems do people, so let's say I have a house, I want to buy a house, but it's in a high fire hazard zone. Does that mean no insurance, more expensive insurance, got to buy someplace else?
It could depend on a lot of different things and different companies. So we say you're buying, for example, we had a client in a high brush area just recently trying to purchase a home, and they weren't sure if they wanted to purchase it because they needed to, figure out everything. The premiums are gonna be higher because the risk is higher. Now, depending on everything and previous loss history, that kind of determines your rate. So rates vary depending on the person. You could have had a home and had a loss, so that loss is going to follow you and increase the rate. But as far as the place in general, depending on what company we put you with, as far as fire goes, the rates can just vary because of the brush area. So like I said, we rate based off of the fire score, which is something we do not determine.
But I could still get a loan, or I mean, I could still get insurance, which is needed to get a loan if I'm willing to pay for it. You'd mentioned previous history of, so is there any way I could get a clue as to what has happened before with insurance claims on a particular property? I'm using that sort of as a double, so sometimes listing agents will have a clue report, right?
Yeah, we have a clue report on everything. So we not only run one on the individual themselves, but we also run one on the home. So we have both clue reports. And if there's a claim on a home and it's you were not living there, we will go and we'll dispute it. So it doesn't reflect on your rate.
Right, and CLUE stands for comprehensive loss underwriting.
Oh,
I'm always losing at the E, but
you know what? I can't remember exactly because it's been a while since I've gone through all the fine print as far as that goes. But it's definitely the loss history report on anything, whether it's a person or a property. And like I said, if it's not your loss, it does not affect your rate.
right. And so the point is sometimes as an agent, when you're looking through the set of disclosures provided by the seller and the listing agent, you'll see a CLUE report, CLUE with a period after each of the letters. And the reason somebody will do that is because isn't it sort of true that if the house has had a lot of problems and submitted claims that would discourage, it would lessen the enthusiasm of another company issuing a policy?
Possibly, like I said, if it's not your claim, it's not your fault in a way. So it's something that you could dispute. If a house has had, 5 claims, you want to make sure that these claims were fixed and done by licensed contractors. You don't want your brother who is the handyman going in there and fixing your roof. How do you know it's 100% good? So it's more based on who did the work and how they did it and how it was fixed. If it was fixed correctly, you're probably not going to have a problem and not be discouraged. But if you're not sure if it was fixed correctly, I would highly encourage you to look more into that, or maybe ask the seller who did it and how it was done and when it was done. That way, when you're getting insurance, you're not confused as to why your insurance agent is asking you all of these questions and what happened. You have no idea. So you want to know all your information.
And we'll get to, people keep adding some questions while I'm distracting you.
No.
At what point in the purchase escrow process would a buyer want to talk to an insurance agent?
I would say right away, as soon as you're putting an offer in, you want to know. We work directly with loan officers as well to make it easier on the client. So that's really nice. But as soon as you're thinking, I mean, even if you haven't put in the offer yet and you're worried about insurance, call us. Like I said, we can run that address and see if it's in a high fire zone. So you can kind of gauge, okay, my insurance is going to be a little bit more expensive than it would if you're, right here downtown buying a brand new home. So I would say as soon as the offer is put in, or as soon as you're thinking about an offer.
And the different levels of coverage, it's if I'm not, when I get a homeowner's insurance, I'm not insuring the value of my house if I were to sell it, but what value is the insurance value?
So it's the reconstruction cost. So say your house, you left a candle on and your house burned to the ground. We're calculating how much per square foot is it going to take to rebuild your home. Now we also have this thing called ordinance law. It's a 10%, increase in that, because we understand older homes, had different regulations back then. So if you have an older home and your windows a few inches lower than they have to be now, you get that extra 10% to make those changes. So insurance is to put you back in a place you were in before the loss. It's not to have you gain anything from it. It's just to make you more comfortable as far as, you had this loss, you can go back to where you were.
Okay.
We also have loss of use. So if your home does burn down, you have coverage if you have to go rent a hotel, buy new clothes, toothbrushes, and that's really quick that an insurance company will issue those things and send you that money to go do.
Wow, that's cool. Maybe my house will burn down. That sounds like a vacation.
It doesn't, if it's on purpose, they might question it though.
Yeah.
I do see a question about recommended umbrella policy. We always recommend it, no matter what. I mean, even if you are, living in a home by yourself and you have one car, you still own a home. So you're still put at risk. So we want to make sure you have an umbrella policy always. It's something that's really good to have. I don't think we've ever not suggested it, and I would never suggest to not have one.
Can you see the other, there's a follow-up question on how much a policy, what, or why don't you take them? You found where the question.
Let's see. So as far as the umbrella policy goes, we'll start from the top. Home insurance, okay, we discussed the warranty.
I think we're on how does insurance companies like AAA, Allstate, et cetera, fall into this business?
So Allstate and AAA, they're not brokers. So they don't work with multiple companies like we do. They're going to write you a AAA policy. If you walk into AAA, they're going to run one quote, they have one rate, and there's no other options. When you walk in here with us, we're going to run a couple different quotes and see what best fits you, where we should place you. It's very, it's a little more structured here because we place people with insurance companies. We're not just placing you with us or with AAA. So we're finding you the best rate and the best place that you should be. Whereas AAA and Allstate, they're just putting you with themselves.
Difference between a mortgage company and the bank, right?
A difference between the mortgage company and the bank.
It's the same thing. Right?
Yeah, I'm not a loan officer, so ask your loan officer. But yes. Another question is, let's see, earthquake insurance. So best earthquake policies right now. What point should one get an earthquake policy? If you're on a fault line, for sure. We always, highly encourage it. They are a little bit pricey, but it's always best to be protected than to not be protected. So you can add it to any of your homeowners policies, I believe. I don't know, if any companies would say no, but all of our companies, you're able to add it. We do run a quote without it, but we always offer it because it's something that you should have, but it's not required, by law like liability is.
But lenders may require it depending on your proximity to an earthquake zone.
I don't think they do actually, no. From my knowledge, they don't require it. Earthquake insurance is not required.
Okay. And if, does it matter how old the property is as to what the earthquake insurance would be?
Yeah, the age of the property determines everything actually. So, if you have an older home, it's just an older home. So you have not necessarily more risk, but it's not like a brand new home. You have the foundation shifting and the little things, that need updating and need to be fixed. So the age of a home definitely affects everything.
Cool.
Let's see, what type of insurance is required for condos and townhomes? What's specifically covered internally? So when you get a condo, we do walls in. So it's everything within those walls is what you're covered for. We have Progressive that we like to place people with, which is a really good company. It's probably our favorite for condos and townhomes. So it's internally earthquake coverage. I would get it on, policy like that because you should just have, the extra coverage. You can still do an umbrella policy and bundle your auto as far as that goes. And someone asked, earthquake insurance is very expensive. What % of single family homes have this in the Bay Area? I'm concerned since it's expensive. So that's I don't know the exact percentage. A lot of people deny it because they don't want it and they don't want the extra cost. So percentage wise in the Bay Area, I can't tell you exactly at the moment, but it's something I can research and then email Michael and answer a few more of these questions after the fact and see if I could get you some more answers on those. Yes, it is expensive, but it is good to have.
My experience would say that it's a low percentage of people that have earthquake insurance.
Yeah, there could be more people who acquire that, yeah. Can umbrella policy cover renters policies? Your umbrella policy can, goes over and above. So you have your policy. Umbrella policies are extensions of your policy. So they cover what your policy is not going to cover.
Do you do mobile homes?
Mobile homes, we do, yes. We like to put them with like Foremost. I believe Progressive will take some of them sometimes, but we do insure them, yeah. Like I said, being a broker, we're able to do a lot more than a lot of these other companies can do, and we're able to find you the best rate for those.
This is it, guys. More questions.
Sorry, say that again.
I was encouraging them to ask it.
Oh, yeah. Any other questions? No. Do you cover auto insurance policies too? We write auto, yeah, we write auto, home, we write condo, renters, we actually write life as well. We're really experienced in those high fire homes, so that's why we have those new companies that we're working with. We do bonds, you know, there's discounts as well for bundling, like I said. We do bonds, we do classic cars too. So Haggerty, we work with them a lot. So if you have your classic cars, there's actually something called cherished salvage. And a lot of people don't know what that is, but it's good to have. It's if the car is at a total loss, you'll be able to keep that because it has sentimental value and you'll still be able to be paid out from, it depends on the loss, but you're able to keep the vehicle, which is nice, especially if your dad passed it down to you. You don't want to let that car leave your home or a lot that you have it at. It's something that my parents have for their classic cars, and I'm glad to have become an insurance agent and now know what that is, because if they didn't have it and then something were to happen, that would be really sad. Do you do flood insurance? Yeah, we do flood insurance too. It's a separate policy, depending on if you want it and depending on where you are too. If you're in a flood zone, you want that, of course. How competitive are you for landlord rental properties? We have pretty good rates, I would say. Like I said, we have multiple companies that will do it. I actually just had a client come to us for all of her insurance, and she mentioned our landlord policy was the best rate she was able to get anywhere. Do you do commercial buildings? Commercial buildings, we do commercial auto. I wouldn't say commercial buildings, but it's something that we would not be opposed to doing maybe in the future. But commercial auto, yes.
Okay. We may have exhausted them.
Yeah, any more questions?
So everybody has a copy of your handout, which includes your contact information. So if you're writing offers and they're getting accepted, congratulations. And your client's going to need insurance. So reach out.
Yeah, even if you have questions, you know, we don't have to write a policy out of stuff. We're here to answer your questions too, and just kind of make connections and be able to help you, you know, guide you and your clients through an easier insurance process in general. So feel free to reach out to myself or Diane or Gloria. We're here Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. So you can call us or email us, and we're here for you.
All right, great. We're being thanked, which means it's time for us to go. All right.
Yeah, well, thank you for having me, and thank you for all your questions.
All right, goodbye, everybody. Stay safe out there.
Bye.
All right.